Hello. Today we will be talking and ranking the Star Wars movies. Uh, there's a couple ones we're missing. Clone Wars movie and the new Mandalorian Grogu movie. But let's be real, we are not missing out on anything by not talking about them. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, guys. So let's discuss them. We're gonna do in chronological order that they were released. I am not doing them in chronological order as they were as in the timeline of the movies, because then it just I am not gonna rank a Phantom Menace first. I'm not. We're gonna rank first A New Hope and then go from there. First off, A New Hope, S tier, one of the best ones. Good plot, good story. Luke Skywalker, Leia, you have Han Solo, Darth Vader, the Empire, the Rebels. Like it's perfect. It's great. Good story. Good guys win at the end. They show against the evil Empire, and it's just a beautiful tale. It's perfect. Empire Strikes Back, even better. What is it? Well, it's just the first movie, but better. And I mean, it's more deep, has a twist at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, even though everyone and their mother should know it. It is fantastic. Uh, Introduces Yoda, the greatest character in all of Star Wars fiction. And it's just a wonderful film. And then we're going to have Return of the Jedi. Not as good as the first two, I will agree, but people give it a lot of hate for no reason. Only dumb part, the only part I hate is the Return of the Death Star. Should have been a one-time thing. Having it again is pointless, redundant, and it makes it feel like a repetition, kinda. I mean, and also like in the context of what Disney's added to this to the saga, right, with Andor and Rogue One, that making a second one that quickly just seems stupid as hell. Just does not make any sense now. But you know what? Sure, that's the only bad part. Emperor Palpatine, perfect. Great addition and a great villain that Darth Vader is supposed to overcome and then show his redemption for his son. It's wonderful. And you know what? That's the thing about the original trilogy. It doesn't talk a lot about politics as the prequel. Prequels, we'll get into that. But for its message of a new hope of fighting and continue on the fight and of trying to find meaning and it does and trying to find meaning in a world that's with despair and everything and trying to go against the odds to win against the big bad. It's an incredible message, and I think the original trilogy will always hold a special place in my heart. And the prequels as well, even though they're not as good as these movies. Not at all. Like the first one, The Phantom Menace. It is not a good film. Overly long. The CGI is really bad in some parts. Um, Jar Jar Binks is a terrible addition. Only good parts really are Qui-Gon Jinn, young Obi-Wan Kenobi, young Anakin Skywalker, and Darth Maul. Like those are the best parts, and obviously Duel of Fates is wonderful. Like that makes the movie not completely F, but everything else, like the Slodge, the Tatooine, I believe, and like it's like the slavery and like and then the pod racing scene, which is cool. I'll give it that. But then like I guess the battles with the it's called oh my god, man. The robots. We're just gonna call them robots. Let's be real. We do not remember the name. We do not remember. Just so many like parts that just slot. It just feels like a slodge until you get to the parts with the characters interacting with each other and the plot is going forward and it feels like something stuff is happening. That's when it's good. And that's why it's not as Attack of the Clones. It's one of the worst Star Wars movies of all time. Genuinely god awful. I don't know who approved this. I don't know who saw this and was like, yes, this is a Star Wars film. This is what we need. You have an assassination plot. You make that boring. You have Anakin having inner turmoil, and you make that cringe as hell. I just don't like saying it's too rough. It's too coarse. It gets everywhere. Like, what is that dialogue? Like, the film is a, it just fails. Like, also have Count Dooku, which is a great addition. One of the few good parts in this movie. But then, like, some of the plots don't go anywhere. The final battle is cool, but like, then you feel like you're wanting more, and that's because you feel like the movie should have been that instead of like leading up to that. Like I felt like the first most of the movie should have been episode one, and then the final battle should have been what the entire movie is about. You know what I mean? Like it should have felt like we're in a war instead of the third film being the war, but not really. Like the end of the war. You get what I mean? Like it's just, uh, I don't like that decision. And we'll talk about it when we get to Revenge of the Sith. We'll go back to that. B tier, almost A, but there's a lot of dumb decisions in this movie still. I will admit the ending carried this. Ending carried in the beginning and the ending carried this movie to B tier. The middle is still sludge. The middle, I mean, it just feels like I'm trying to remember. Okay, at the beginning you have the battle above Coruscant. Ships flying everywhere. It's like and then Count Dooku versus Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Like that's in great additions. You feel tension. Count Dooku dies. Then you have General, and then you have Emperor Palpatine there, like who's orchestrating the entire thing. Like it just feels great. But then you have the middle part, and General Grievous is kind of goofy. He's funny, I'll give him that, but like he's just goofy. And then it's just I don't know, like I don't like his addition in the movie. And that's the thing is I can't really remember the middle. I mean, like, but then you get to the end and you have Mace Windu versus Palpatine. You have Anakin turning to the dark side. Order 66, Anakin versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. That takes the movie to the highest levels possible. But the dialogue is really bad in the movie still. And then the characters, like, I don't know, like it's. I'm actually conflicted. I might give this an A because like, thinking about it, there's a lot of good parts of the movie that save the bad parts. You know what? I'm gonna give it an A. Thinking about it, I do enjoy. I remember more good parts of the movie than the bad parts, and those good parts are some of the best parts in the entire like saga. So, I'll give it that. I'll give it an A because talking about it made me realize I like it a lot more. It's not perfect because it has like some dumb decisions there, like General Grievous. All right, A New Hope. Not A New Hope, sorry. A New Hope. The Force Awakens. Force Awakens, that's what I meant. Force Awakens. They will not go beyond that because it's a rehash of the first film, which is a shame because I feel like if you're gonna restart the Star Wars franchise, which this is doing, because you didn't need to restart it, you want to do it in a new fashion and not just repeat the same story. It repeats the same story, which is a good story. Because it repeats it, it just can't go beyond being like good. It can't be great. It can't be amazing. It's just good. And, I really do hate what they did with the. Okay, let's talk about the politics then, finally, because I really hate what they did with the Galactic Republic and everything. The prequels are memorable, unlike the sequels we will see right now. It's because they have the politics of the Republic, the separatists, and how all that went down, and showing how democracy can easily be overturned and be destroyed by the inside by evil forces, which is what the Sith did. Is that he corrupted the Republic slowly from within to form the Galactic Empire, which is dominant force. And we see in the original trilogy they are a force to be reckoned with, and they are powerful. The Republic is like kind of like weak in that aspect, and they can't really enforce any of the rules, and which was led to the rot that slowly led them to die. And it's why in the original trilogy, yeah, sure, the Empire is strong and everything. They're able to do that, and they're able to cement like kind of stability, but they're able to cement that power because they show their force and are domineering. But you can also argue that them doing that led to their downfall because they made too many enemies and people want to overthrow them, as we see in the original trilogy. And I think it's a good thing about the prequels, even though most of the movies, two of them are pretty bad, is that they do have a message in there. The sequels lack that. They have no message, just nothing. Original is like a personal story in epic battle. The prequels are a political story about the weaknesses of democracy and the rise of fascism. The sequels are nothing. They are nothing. There's no value. There's nothing. And even though the first one is the only good one, it is still just a rehash of the original, and it does it in a worse way than it could. So because of that, it's only good. That's a ah, The Last Jedi. What a piece of shit movie. I remember watching this movie in theaters. I've never been so disappointed in a movie. I remember in theaters too. I think it was like I was in the very front seat, so like it was also a terrible viewing experience because I could barely see the movie. And what I did see was god awful. Like the battles with her. Oh my lord. Okay. The battles were the only good part. I'll say that. The battles were the only good part. The story decisions don't make sense. Why do you make Luke Skywalker an angry, grumpy old man? Why do you kill off what's his name? Snoke? I think it's Snoke. Smoke? Snoke. It's one of those two. Why did you make most of the First Order like weaklings? And that Kylo Ren could just throw them around whenever he want. Which I know he's supposed to be like their version of Darth Vader, but I mean, it just doesn't work. And also, like Kylo Ren is the only good part, really, like the only original one that really of like the sequel trilogy. But even then, it just feels like he's a rehash of the original because he's supposed to emulate Darth Vader. It's just so stupid. Snoke is there, and Rey just yeah, like she has like this emotional journey of trying to find the meaning, I guess. But like it just doesn't work. And then I'm trying to think of the other two main supporting characters. What's his name? Is it Ben? It's not Ben. No, that's Spider-Man. Trying to think of the other one. You have the turn. Okay, I'm gonna call him this turn stormtrooper, the the traitor stormtrooper, and then you have the fighter pilot. Because I genuinely cannot remember the names for the life of me, and that's okay because they're kind of forgettable. Turn stormtrooper was supposed to be a Jedi. We can all agree that he was supposed to become a new Jedi, and they just didn't go through that in the Last Jedi, and then that just and then him trying to kill himself was a stupid ass decision. That final battle was cool looking, but there was no point. I mean, the only good part was Luke coming out in the end, all badass. But even then, that just doesn't make sense, and he just dies. I mean, the only reason this movie is not F is because it doesn't make me mad. But even then, it's such a disappointing movie. D is for disappointing. All right, well, let's just you know what? I'm gonna save that one for last because I don't believe I even did this right. I think this one's the most recent one. I don't think these two are. So we'll do this one last because I have a lot to say about the Rise of Skywalker. Ooh. Rogue One, kind of mid. I mean, it's a good movie, but rewatching it, I rewatched it for Andor, right? It is not as good as Andor. Like it really does like a lot of the problems with the sequel trilogy. It has the same issues. It is better than most of the sequel movies, but still, it's not like it's just like it has like that also that weird thing where like they have like a lot of side characters that try to make like a good cool group, but most of them die and you don't remember their names at all, and it's just kind of lame. And I feel like if they focus more on Cassian and the main chick, which I forgot her name too, it would have been a much better movie. But I mean, the final battle was sick. You see the Death Star shooting its laser. Director Krennic, awesome actor and awesome character in the movies. Like because of that, it makes the movie pretty good, but the rest of it drags it down. So I put in. I think that's a fair placement. Did I see Solo? Never tried. Why did I say never tried? I just looked at that. Yeah, no. Never. I never tried Solo. Okay, but anyways, let's go into the final one right now. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is arguably the worst Star Wars movie. No, it's not arguably. It is the worst one. It's the worst one. It is the worst one. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And it's impressive because it doesn't have some like technical problems. The writing is like dialogue is mid, but it's not as bad as some of the prequels movies dialogues. But oh my lord, the plot destroys this movie. It completely ruins anything. Like the actors are not even bad actors; they're trying their best, but the plot just destroys this film. It just does not save it. It does opposite. It makes the film a piece of shit. Like there's nothing you can do to fix this movie unless you change the entire plot of the movie, and that means changing every single like where they go, where they do, what This movie should have not been made the way it was. I know The Last Jedi did not leave a great path, but the path it took was probably the worst path it could have done. Because what it did was it decided, you know what, I can't do anything with the new stuff, so I'm going to redo it, just like the first sequel film. But instead, I'm going to bring back Palpatine from the dead when he was confirmed dead, by the way. Like, there's no way he's coming back. That dude was gone, obliterated. He exploded. And they bring him back. And that's the worst part is I remember everything about this movie because that made me so mad. So you have a film where you're trying to bring back the original villain from the main from this original trilogy. Like it feels like the middle part of the movie is like a prequel plot level where like there's nothing going on. It's so pointless. They are on a side quest to find an item that is pointless at the end. They find a planet where he's at, but they have to go through so much stupid stuff to get there that doesn't make any sense. Some of the reviews are just like actually straight up garbage. Like, why is one of the First Order like main commanders an agent for the like? It's not they're calling out the rebels. What's it called? The Resistance, which is a stupid ass name by the way. I hate it. Why are they the? Why is he an agent for them? That doesn't make any sense. Why is Leia even in this film? She should have died in the Last Jedi, but she's keep going, and that's another thing. The actor died in this. They were dead for most of this movie, so they used scenes from like other parts they recorded, and just you could tell they're not supposed to be there. They could have killed her off screen. No one would have cared at this point, but they decided to keep her, and you could tell that was a terrible decision. Furthermore, you can tell that after Last Jedi, they had no plot, so they decided to bring back Emperor Palpatine. Somehow he had a secret army the entire time, a secret army. No one knew the army. No one has seen this army in existence. He has the largest army, more Star Destroyers than we ever seen in any of the films, by the way. It ready to with, by the way, beams, laser beams that can destroy planets. How he did this, we don't know. He just did. He literally not even like magic in the universe, just straight up invented it out of thin air. Nothing came from it. I understand that the point of his race is supposed to be like the new version of this, right? It's like the, continue on the Jedi Order, right? Whatever. The Jedi legacy, I guess. But then you have Kylo there. He gives his, I think he gives his life force to her and he dies. And it's a shame because he was the only good part of this entire sequel was him. Like he's the only one that was consistently good throughout the entire three movies was him. But then like he's gone, he's dead. And then the ending of this film is Rey goes to Tatooine and says she's Rey Skywalker, not Rey Palpatine, as we learn in The Last Jedi, but she's Rey Skywalker, and it's just a feels so stupid, so contrived. And I know the point is you can choose your own path; you're not just destined by your history, but it doesn't matter. It's stupid. It's genuinely the dumbest plot point in these movies. It's doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. It doesn't function. My God, I hate this movie so much. I know most people say they hate The Last Jedi, and then they say The Rise of Skywalker is a product of it. I don't like The Last Jedi at all, but I don't think it was so bad that you couldn't go anywhere with it. I think you couldn't have made Kylo the big bad in a third movie, show he completely falls to the dark side, and instead you show Rey triumphing again and showing that even when you're at the lowest point, you can return back from it. Because she was at her lowest point in The Last Jedi. And instead, they did this side, like fetching a MacGuffin that just does not exist. That doesn't make sense, by the way, in terms of it. Like, it should not work. The only way it works is that they have the remains of the Death Star, which should not be known to the people who made that key, by the way. That was thousands years old. As I digress, it just doesn't work. And furthermore, why did they make this? Why did they bring back Palpatine? There is no reason, there is no rhyme, there is no understanding. He should not be in this film. He's not supposed to be in this film. It was supposed to be Snoke, but they killed him in the second one. Like, okay, as much as I don't like the prequels, most of them are not good. Let's be real. At least they have a good theme. There's a purpose that underlines all the films that is guiding them secretly. Even if the main plot points are ass, even if the main dialogue is ass, even if what you're seeing is just garbage, there's something there that you're supposed to be getting from it. But sequels, I will never rewatch them because there's nothing to gain from them. I will rewatch prequels. I will rewatch Attack on the Clones for that theme. I cannot rewatch the sequels. There's nothing to gain. There's no overall message. There's no overall personal growth, nothing about politics, nothing about morality. There's nothing there. It's just a blob that's trying to emulate the past, but it fails so miserably at it. It's just a reincarnation, a resurrection of a corpse that should have not been resurrected. It's literally resurrecting dead characters that should have stayed dead. And I know they're trying to make another one. I know they're gonna keep trying to make these new Star Wars films that I mean, right now they're stuck in the kind of the after the six after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens, they're stuck in that little era right now, and they're focusing on that, and that's great. That's wonderful. Good for them. But they need to do something new. They need to change it up. They need to innovate, or else they're just gonna be stuck on this path. And I hope the new one is set like far in the future. I don't know exactly. I heard rumors about it, but I don't know what they're doing. I think the new one has to be good. It has to be good. They can't mess up again. They already had two failures in a row. Not uh, financially speaking. Financially, these movies did great. I'm talking about critically. It has to be good because people are getting tired of these films. They need to perform well, or else it needs to perform well with critics and audience, or else it's just going to be worse for this franchise than ever before. It will be terrible. They need to fix this because right now they messed up the sequels entirely. And the only way I could see you even fixing this franchise if you go far into the future, where everything we have seen right now is just a legend. Like literally, it doesn't even no one thinks it's real. And you do a new plot point, new Sith, new Jedi's, new governments. I don't even want the Republic or the Empire or the First Order, whatever. I want something new entirely, some outside threat, some new magic, right? Like something that blows the mind off this series. Because if we don't, this thing is dead. And I've been rambling on, by the way, because I've been talking about this movie, but this is the one that sticks in my mind, and that's how bad it is. Despite everything, despite all the movies, by the way, that are like amazing here, these last three movies from the sequels have tainted me and tainted my idea of Star Wars. I was not even going to watch Andor, but I did. And watching Andor made me realize that there is still potential in this franchise for good stories. It just has to be done with the correct people. And you have to have a purpose behind the stories. You can't just be telling a Star Wars story, whatever that means. You have to be telling a story about something, about personal growth, about overcoming the odds, about corrupt government, something. That's what makes this Star Wars. It's not that it's set in space or that it has cool battles. It's that there's a purpose behind it. If they find it again, they will save it. But as far as I'm aware, as far as I can remember from this last movie, that's all literally the last Star Wars movie I've ever seen. I just doubt it. I really am really hopeful for the future, but we will see. Anyways, though, that's my YouTube video, and thank you for watching.